April Marie Tinsley was born on March 18, 1980, to Janet and Michael Tinsley. The family resided in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Fort Wayne is nicknamed the Summit City due to its position at the highest elevation along the Wabash and Erie Canal. The city is located 18 miles west of the Ohio border and 50 miles south of the Michigan border, and serves as the cultural and economic hub of northeastern Indiana. The young girl attended Fairfield Elementary School and was a member of the children's choir at the Faith United Methodist Church. Not long after her 8th birthday, April went out playing with 2 of her friends. On that day, April 1st, 1988, a Good Friday, April left her friend's house to retrieve her umbrella. The time was about 3 p.m., and when she failed to return home that night, her frantic mother contacted police and reported her daughter as missing. On June 24, 2005, the Tinsley family held a press conference at the Allen County Courthouse in Fort Wayne, Indiana, during which they appealed for information from the public about an unsolved murder. The family were requesting any leads from the public about the murder of their daughter, April Tinsley. April, who had been 8 years old at that time. She'd been reported missing in April 1988, and her body was discovered several days later. The young girl had been wrapped and strangled to death. Despite a thorough police investigation and a reward offered for information, April's killer managed to evade justice. Several years later, a message appeared on a barn that was allegedly written by the killer, who appeared to be taunting police and their inability to catch him. It soon became the Midwestern state's most notorious unsolved murder case. A search for the young girl began almost immediately and consisted of some 250 Fort Wayne police officers and 50 local volunteers. Nothing was found during this extensive search. Several days later, a witness came forward and reported seeing a white man in his 30s had yelled at a girl believed to be Tinsley before forcing her into what was described as a blue pickup truck. In the meantime, the girl's mother, Janet, waited, hoping that police would bring home her daughter. Then 3 days after she went missing, they received the news that every parent dreads. On April 5th, 1988, the body of April Tinsley was found in a ditch just west of Spencerville, Indiana. Her body had been found by a jogger passing the rural DeKalb County farmland, located just 20 miles from her home. Near to the crime scene, investigators found one of April's shoes, as well as a shopping bag containing an S-toy. It was determined during the autopsy that the young girl had been RPD'd and strangled. The pathologist estimated she had been dead for about 1 or 2 days before she was discovered, and that her body had been placed in the ditch some 4 hours before it was found. During the Memorial Day weekend in 2004, 4 notes were found in the Fort Wayne area that are believed to have been written by Tinsley's murderer. 3 of these notes were left on girls' bicycles, and another one was left in a mailbox. 3 notes were placed in plastic bags, along with used condoms and Polaroid pictures of a man's lower body. In early May 2016, police released an updated version of this sketch. That same year, the investigative series Crime Watch Daily aired an episode that featured the murder. With advent of forensic genealogy emerging as a new method of identifying suspects in cold cases, a Fort Wayne Police Department detective sent a sample of the suspect's DNA in May 2018 to the forensics company Parabon Nanolabs, which used the genealogy website GED Match to identify the suspect's relatives. On July 2, 2018, the genealogist C.C. Moore narrowed down the list of suspects to 2 people. These 2 potential suspects were brothers, one of whom was 59-year-old John D. Miller, who resided in Graybill, Indiana, and whose neighbors described him as secluded and often angry. During a search of Miller's trash, police found used condoms and collected DNA that was later matched the suspect's DNA. On July 15, 2018, Fort Wayne detectives approached Miller at his residence and asked him to come to talk with them at the police station. At the station, officers advised Miller of his rights, and when asked if he knew why they wanted to talk to him, he replied, "April Tinsley." During a subsequent interview at the police station, Miller confessed to the murder, admitting to having abducted Tinsley, arping her, and choking her to death in his trailer. He was charged with numerous charges, including murder, child molestation, and confinement. During a court hearing on July 19, 2018, Miller pleaded not guilty. On December 7, 2018, Miller changed his plea to guilty, admitting that he RPD'd Tinsley and strangled her with his bare hands. As a result of his guilty plea, he was sentenced to 80 years in prison, the majority of which was for murder, along with a 30-year sentence for child molestation. The family of April Tinsley were finally able to gain closure after 30 years of agonizing over who might have been responsible